Where in India are you?
I'm currently in Bangalore, but I'm based out of Delhi, New Delhi. I was born and brought up in New Delhi. So,
Got
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I flew into Delhi last fall
Oh, that's nice.
and then drove somewhere 6 hours away. I forget where it was. Rajasthan?
Oh, yeah.
That, yeah.
Udaipur and
Yeah,
Jaipur.
yeah,
Nice.
that's where it was. You've been
Yeah.
before?
No, no, but I really want to. It's my dream destination. Maybe one day I'll meet you
Yeah,
there.
come.
Yeah.
It's a long flight, but
Yeah.
let me know when you come.
Yeah, yeah. That's like a
Yeah,
dream.
who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
tell me what you're up to. What are you working on?
I'll just tell you about briefly about myself. I'm an apparel designer. I have worked with FIDA India and then I worked with Adidas India. I was working for the BCCI cricket kit. Then like 1 year ago, I joined Agilitas, which has two brands and it has license for Lotto Sports Italia and One Eat World, which is basically Virat Kohli's brand. You're aware about Virat Kohli? He's a cricketer.
Yep.
Yeah. So I have working on his brand. Mischief did. You know, it's been
Yeah.
viral since so many years. All the products and they are so creative. They are so different and cool. I still remember. I
Thank you.
wanted to share one story with you. So I met with an accident in 2023, and I had that Walker boot, and I was going through that AC1 boots which Mischief made, and I shared one story on Instagram that this is the inspiration and this is the prototype. So yeah,
Wow, amazing.
yeah,
Yeah, so I'm looking at your stuff. Let's see. So you graduated in 2020.
yes.
Got it. So it's 2026. So you're 27, 28?
I'm 29 years old.
Okay. Amazing. Wow. You have so much time. That's great. I'm almost 40 now. I've
But
been doing this for a long time.
age
Very long.
doesn't matter. I think that you have achieved so much when you were younger. Also, like I read about you that you were in army, then you dropped out, and then you were working with BuzzFeed,
True.
and you started with
That's true.
Mischief. So how?
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of that happened because I didn't know what I was supposed to do. So I just kind of did everything and I didn't know what the rules were. So I just ended up breaking a lot of the rules by accident. And I think there were two things that really changed my life. One was when I didn't know what to do, I just committed to making things, whether I had a job or I didn't have a job. So I remember when I left the army, I was confused. So I just started teaching myself how to design. I teach myself how to write code, and I would just make things. And every couple weeks, I would just like go post it on Twitter or Facebook or like send it to my friends, and then they would share them because they thought it was interesting, and then it would start to go viral, which was a crazy feeling. So just making things always. And I think especially making things outside of your job, because everybody makes things for their job,
Yeah.
but not everybody makes things outside of their job. And I think that's like the way to make your world bigger, because the longer you work at a job, your world becomes smaller.
Yes.
You become less creative, not just because you're so busy, but because you forget to see the rest of the world. All you see is like the same coworkers and the same inspiration and the same outputs. So making new things all the time, critical. Then the other part is, maybe you've already done this, is moving to a city that has the energy that pulls you.
Yeah.
That's so important. Because I am not from New York. I'm from the opposite of New York. But coming to New York changed my life, because the first time I got here, I remember thinking, wow, I could do anything. Like you walk 5 minutes and it's a completely different, it's almost like a different world. And then you walk 5 more minutes and it's another different world, like different culture, different fashion sense. People behave different, they talk different. Like New York is such a magical place. And so I remember when I was 24, when I moved here, I was like, wow, I could go audition to be on a movie, or I could start a company, or I could sell drugs, or literally and you could do it all. And in a
Yeah.
way, I've done most of those things. And that's why New York was such an amazing place for me. So I think those were like the two big like game changer things, because as soon as you start doing those, especially the work outside of your job,
Yeah.
you start attracting people who feel similarly or who see the
Like-minded,
world.
you have like-minded conversations, and that's how you grow and you exchange the ideas. Yeah,
Yep.
totally feel
And
that.
that's all the people at Mischief now. We all saw each other 10 years ago, and it's like, oh, wow, there's not many people out there like us.
Yeah.
So we start spending time together. And I remember at first it was like, all right, are we friends or are we enemies? Are we rivals? Like, what's the relationship here? And over time, we ended up becoming friends and collaborators. And so now that's like the company, just because we were doing things.
Yeah. And
I
not
think those,
afraid of anything. Like all of the products, I feel it's very fearless. It's very expressive, and
yeah,
it stays. If someone is watching that product for the first time, it will stay with their heart, within their heart and their mind, and they can just
yeah,
connect with it. Okay, oh, that's so cool. That's something different.
yeah. And in a way, when you're making things, I think a lot of people, when I talk to them, they're like, how do you know what to make? And how do you know if people are going to like it? And who are you making it for? And my answer is always, you have to be very selfish. You have to make it for yourself, or else why, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're making creative work, art, maybe, that's an extension of yourself. It's
Yes.
personal expression.
Yes.
You shouldn't compromise that for other people. So I think it has to be an act of selfishness. And if you make something that you love that expresses yourself, other people will see that and they'll notice that and they'll appreciate it. It's kind of like when you watch a movie and sometimes you can just tell, like, wow, they look like they had fun. Like
Yeah.
they're having fun.
Yeah.
And then some movies you watch and it's like, this wasn't a good movie. It's like the energy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So being selfish is pretty important.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense. Like I was just.
Like a creative community around you. Like what is?
I keep on
What's it
meeting,
like?
I don't know how, but I keep on meeting designers everywhere, like maybe the juniors or the seniors. And I like to have those like-minded conversations, like, what's happening in the industry and how can we change and how can we bring a change and how can we do something different, which is like literally out of the box. And how can we grow as a designer also? So there's no such community as such right now in India, because people are still like, there are a lot of designers, but that thing is missing. And I feel that the more you meet people in the events, like sneaker events, now sneaker heads, there are a lot of sneaker heads in India now. More of the sneaker events are growing, like coming up. So that's where you meet a lot of different like people who are acceptable and very self-expressive, and that is needed right now. And I think it will come in India for sure. Like it's booming right now.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's like a counterculture is starting to happen?
Yeah, definitely.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's actually amazing, because I think in New York, the counterculture has become the mainstream. So everyone's starting to wait for a new counterculture in a
Okay.
way. So maybe you're in the right place at the right time. Do you want to be in India for the long run?
Oh, obviously it's my home, but yeah, I would love to explore New York. I love to explore Tokyo, because they are very self-expressive. And I feel for the New York, I feel a lot of cultures are there at in a single city. And that's why it's so magical. Like I grew up watching Bollywood films, and the way they used to fantasize New York, the amount of energy, the colors and the cultures were happening at the same place. That's what made me fall in love in New York when I was even like 6 to 7 years old. I watched Shah Rukh Khan movies, and that's how I fell in love. But yeah, then when I grew up, then I saw that the kind of exposure it has, and the amount of art events it holds. It's an art city, I'll call that, because maybe the designers, the music, and it's not only just art. It's art is so vast that it has a lot of things happening at the same time. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it totally does.
Yeah.
It totally does.
So
Cool. Well, yeah, your stuff looks really good, by the way. You've been very busy, which is great.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't sit idle. That's it's my biggest strength and it's my biggest
Sort of like
weakness
the other
also.
thing is, I think a lot of creative people they'll have new ideas and they'll only make them halfway. Like they might just make the render
Yeah.
to post on Instagram.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that you can do is go all the way.
Yeah.
Like make it real and then post a photo on Instagram, but only once you do it real. There's so many people who it's just
They just share the concept or the renders.
it's just
Yeah.
concept, right? And that's okay. That's not bad. That's better than nothing. But there's such a big gap between those who only share the concept and those who do it real. But if you can get there, then you are part of like a very, how do I say, elite few, because you made it real, right? You affected the world around you.
Yeah.
And that's like the highest calling of a creative person is you impact the world around you. That's everything, right?
Yeah. That's how we inspire to become a better person also, because we are so self-expressive, and we inspire people so that they can also explore and they can also do something which is very different.
Exactly.
You went to West Point, then ended up in BuzzFeed, and none of that sounds creative. But what was the actual moment when when you knew that the thing you had to do? How did that mischief?
West Point and being in the Army is actually a very creative place because there's so many rules.
Oh, okay.
When you have rules and when you have constraints, you have to be creative to survive.
Okay.
And so in a way, I think that's like one of the most creative places versus when you're just free and you can do anything, there are no walls. And when there are no walls, it's actually harder to be creative. So I think being in that environment was the first instance of me kind of unlocking. And then when I left, I was like, wow, okay, now I see the world and I feel free. But I see the world in terms of different rules and restrictions and walls that are not limitations, but they are opportunities. So how do I allow myself to break through all of these restrictions possible? And part of that was like, okay, give yourself unfair advantages. Go to New York, work at a company in New York, understand how the world works, understand how people interact, understand how businesses are built. But as I go down that path, look at how other people do it and then don't do it like them.
Okay. Yeah. But what was the point that, let's do the miscellaneous, like mischief, let's start mischief. What was that point?
So there wasn't really a point. It was, I just started making things. I wasn't thinking too hard about it. I didn't have a grand vision. I didn't have this like manifesto vision of my future. It was just like, okay, I have this idea and I really want to make it. So I'm going to make it. And after I made it, I was like, oh, that felt really good. I want to do it again. Okay, let me do it again. And then it's like, that felt really good too. Okay, well, if I'm going to keep doing this, let me put it on one website. So that's when I bought the website, MSCHF.com. And I didn't really like the attention, so I didn't use my name. So it was just Miscellaneous Mischief putting out these projects. And then one day it made sense to like shorten it just to Mischief. And then we kind of started to become a business and everything started to grow and change. But yeah, I didn't think too hard about it. Just started making things.
Were you creative since childhood?
I don't know. Maybe. But the thing is, I didn't think about it.
Okay.
Like my childhood was in the countryside here in the United States. I was raised to be a doctor or a lawyer, go to a good school because my parents didn't go to college. And then I ended up doing the complete opposite and becoming very creative and artistic. So ironically, maybe not in the traditional sense.
Okay.
But there were a lot of rules back then. So maybe it was a very creative childhood.
Got it. So most of the designers are taught to solve the problems. You seem to, be something different. And what did that instinct came from? That, it was always there, or did you have to unlearn something to get there?
Yeah, it's less about solving problems, but it's more like if you take a step back and look at the world around you, everyone's operating on the same set of systems or assumptions or rule sets. And it looks kind of funny when you're just watching it from a distance. It's kind of like when a bunch of cows walk in the same direction for no reason. It's like, why are they doing that? Humans are the same way. And so just make something, it's less trying to solve a problem, but it's more about exposing the absurdity of being human, of interacting with other people, of interacting with technology via other people. So in a way, Mischief is just a mirror to whatever is happening in the world.
That's so cool. So Mischief has this rule, nothing is, but you have also said that the work has to have some soul. How do you hold those two things at the same time without the work becoming just chaos?
Yeah, I think nothing is sacred. We should be able to play with anything. That I always believe in. But at the same time, we shouldn't be surface level. And I think part of that is not falling into the trap of just making content, to be honest. I think the challenge is, how do you make real things? And how do you make real things that will make people think, that people will remember, and that maybe will last longer than 2 days? Because the internet is kind of a fast place right now.
Yeah.
So that's sort of the challenge, is like, how do you make it real?
Yeah.
While not being afraid.
Yeah, just like giving an example of the Red Boot thing. It got viral. Like, I saw one of your TED Talks where you mentioned that you were thinking that, it won't work out. But it became viral. It
was crazy. Yeah, that was crazy.
How were you, what were you feeling at that moment when you got to know, oh, this is viral now?
Terrified, because all of our websites were breaking. We were getting hacked. We didn't have enough inventory. Our factories were freaking out. Like, it was so stressful.
But that was an achievement. I think that was a viral moment for everyone.
Definitely fun. Yeah. Definitely fun.
Who is the one designer or maybe one brand that that is unknown or outside the usual circles that you think that world needs to pay attention right now?
That is a good question. I don't know. I don't have a good answer.
But you're living in New York. You must have some one brand which took your attention.
You know what I would say? I think I couldn't really name one specifically, but I think the mindset in Japan is very healthy. Because creative people in Japan, it feels like they're trying to make the best things with the most soul, and they're not trying to go viral. I think everyone else is trying to take shortcuts right now and go viral.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of respect for what's happening in Japan. So just in general, I think.
Got it. I think they're not copying, and plus they're being very authentic.
Very authentic.
And if you were a designer from, India, Brazil or Nigeria, somewhere outside New York, I want to do what you do. So what's the first thing you'll actually tell them to do tomorrow morning?
Make something that gets my attention on the internet.
Nice.
Very simple.
Is there any one book that you want to recommend to the young designers or, any young person?
Definitely the Mischief book. It's basically a textbook.
Okay.
That shows how we did everything.
Oh, got it.
I'll send you a copy. Send me your mailing address.
I'd be so happy to get that copy. And if it's autograph, like yours with a signed copy, then I'll just frame it in my house.
Well, I want you to read it. So
I'll read it definitely.
Cool. Yep. Send it over. I do have to go. I have to go to another meeting.
Thank you so much.
Really. Your address, and then let's stay in touch. And come to New York sometime.
I would love to.